Indy 11 soccer does not officially get underway until, fittingly, March the 11th. But for the first time, we are thrilled to bring you a preseason friendly here on the ISC Sports Network and the Indy 11's social media channels. For a second time in 5 days, the Indy 11 get tuned up for their upcoming tilt by playing an Indiana college program. After scrimmaging Butler on Friday, today it is Indiana Wesleyan of the NAIA ranks. Back for our 10th season together, broadcasting Indy 11 matches, Greg Rakestraw and Brad Hodder. Brad, of course, these days also the head of marketing and club growth for the Indy 11. Congratulations on the new title. I have been told, though, it will not affect how you broadcast matches in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
No, it shouldn't. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Excited to be back with you for 10 years. Can you believe it?
Now, this is has been the preseason training home for the Indy 11, and frankly, during the week, the outdoor fields are the training homes for the Indy 11. And one of the great luxuries that Indy has in terms of having this level of facility, there are 3 different indoor fields that can all be used at any time by the Indy 11, is that, a lot of teams in the early days of the Indy 11, they travel to Arizona or travel to Florida. No, the Indy 11 have one away match. That is at MLS side Chicago Fire on Friday, February the 25th. Every other match for Mark Lowry's team happens right here in this building.
Yeah, and that's nice as you're trying to round out the roster and figure out the combinations of guys together. The last thing you want, in addition to recovery days, are travel days and things that break up your training schedule and that rhythm that the guys get in through preseason.
Now, this will not be our typical play-by-play broadcast, and I'm not sure if you've been around for the first 9 years. I'm not sure any broadcast that Brad or I do is classified as typical, but what this will be kind of quasi-play-by-play, talk show style as well. We're trying to introduce you to so many of the new names on the Indy 11, but also clue you in as to upcoming ticket packages available and themes and promotions. And again, this is designed to kind of whet your appetite for the upcoming season of Indy 11 soccer.
Yeah, a lot of cool things going on, not just the new faces, but new things with ticketing, new things with merchandise. And in addition to that quasi-broadcast, we just talked about it before this began.
Yes.
256 games. Your voice is tuned up. I got to get my pipes warmed up a little bit for this coming season.
There is never an off season for me when it comes to broadcasting.
You're incredible.
And the last time, from a broadcast standpoint, the last time our ISC Sports Network cameras were in this building was over Halloween weekend. We had, 12 different youth football games over 2 days in these 3 buildings. Last time I had a chance to do a broadcast in here would be the Indy 11 women's season. This facility was the home for 5 of the 6 home matches in 2022. It was just announced this afternoon that the Indy 11 will have a divisional switch for their W League team. Head coach Paul Delinsky will be joining us coming up in a matter of moments as their second season will get underway in the month of May. We haven't announced the home dates yet. We'll do that as we get closer to it, but we'll also talk about the very successful women's team as well. One thing of note as to what is on your screen as we speak, that guy that says AG, we just know him as Ioze. After 5 years of playing for the Indy 11, after nearly 20 years of professional career, you are seeing him in his new role as an assistant coach for the Indy 11.
AG could be alternate gaffer. That's what it could stand for.
I would think alternate goals in case we need somebody, get Io back out there, and away we go. One thing that you will notice in today's game, you'll see some players with a number on their uniform, others not. The players that don't have a number on their gear, probably guys that are not officially under contract yet for the Indy 11. They are trialists, and we will simply reference, hey, great play by the Indy 11. We won't mention them by name, but the guys that do have the number on their shirt are guys that we expect to play kind of a major role. So amongst the players that you see out there, Yannick Edel will be the starter in goal. He's in the green wearing number 28, one of 2 players brought in from Hartford Athletic during the course of the season. Gustavo Risi is next to him, new kind of central defensive back for this Indy 11 squad, the center back position wearing number 77. Jesus Vasquez is to the right of Yannick Etzel. Jesus, of course, one of the many players brought in at midseason last year. Cam Lindley, Aiden Quinn, Alan Torres back with the Indy 11 after a season on loan. In forward Madison, Harrison Robledo, who scored for the Indy 11 in his debut match on Friday. Juan Tejada and Jonas Fjellberg, also back from a loan last year with RGV. So there is Cam Lindley on your screen that was walking out of the picture. It is so nice to have Cam not only back with the Indy 11, but back in his home county here in Hamilton County. In fact, Cam will join us during the second half of today's game.
You talk about the fact that the team doesn't have to travel like we used to back in the NASL days, and you look at Cam Lindley coming home. He grew up out here. I mean, the amount of minutes that he has put out here in not just Indianapolis fields in general, but here at Grand Park it's a huge volume of time.
And for the folks of Indiana Wesleyan, again, we will tell you this will be very much an Indy 11-centric broadcast. We'll obviously reference your young men from your program as they make plays throughout the course of the broadcast and provide names. But again, I'll repeat, this will be an Indy 11-centric broadcast. It is great, though, to have the Wildcats here and playing their first of 5 spring season friendlies. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Indy 11 social media channels as well as the ISC Sports Network. Jonas Fjellberg with the immediate cross looking for Juan Tejada. Ball pops free. Tejada trying to track it down. Tejada, of course, was acquired in a mid-season trade that saw Nicky Law move on to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Juan Tejada came here. This year, Nicky is going to go be a player-assistant coach with the new team in Huntsville, Alabama as part of MLS Next. Want to wish the best of luck to Nicky, and not surprised he's making that transition into coaching in his now 3rd year in the States.
I think Liam Doyle, did he go there as well?
Correct, absolutely.
We got a couple Indy 11 veterans moving on into coaching.
So Fjellberg, and that will be a foul, and Cam Lindley will be involved in that. The player that was fouled, Austin Keat for Indiana Wesleyan. And we see the Wildcats on a regular basis on the ISC Sports Network as one of the primary foils and rivals for the Marian University Knights. And, you know, we use friendly for this match. Wasn't very friendly, the exchange that was going on there.
We're already a couple minutes in. You can see one of the things, and I love the up-tempo, and I love the aggressiveness in the way that Coach Lowry wants to play. Off the kickoff, back to Lindley, over to Fjellberg over here on the side, and then it's a ball played in that Tejada has a chance on, Robledo has a chance on, 2 opportunities inside the box within the opening minute.
Indy will play the full 90 today. They'll play 2 45s in their preseason friendly against Butler on Friday. It was 4 20-minute sessions. Butler did defeat the Indy 11 3-1, although in talking with head coach Mark Lowry for Soccer Saturday the next day, he was none too concerned with the results of that match. It was simply getting the guys on the pitch and kind of shaking off the rust. Again, full training for the Indy 11 literally began 2 weeks ago. The way the USL Championship season works, February 1st, November 30th is when the contracts run. So the guys been doing individual workouts for about a week or 2 before they came here, but this really wraps up the 2nd full week of camp for the Indy 11 as of today.
Yeah, the preseason results are difficult because as a competitor, you always want to win, but your focus is often very different. You're looking at some trialists still. You're trying to round guys into form. You're trying to see what combinations of guys work well together. And if you get too caught up in that end result in your opening preseason match, you know, you can lose sight of the bigger picture on what you're trying to accomplish through the course of the entirety of the preseason.
Fjellberg on the cross, the native of Norway. That is Aaron Carr, grad student at Indiana Wesleyan, who gets the nod in goal, one of 3 keepers on the spring roster for the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan. Bit of a giveaway here, but Indy 11 couldn't make the proper touch, trying to spring Tejada down the left side. Again, for the Indy 11, this is their 2nd of 5 preseason friendlies. They'll be in this building for a match against the Chicago Fire MLS Next team, the Fire 2. That will be on Sunday. And they will head up to Chicago to play the Fire's likely reserves because that's the opening weekend of Major League Soccer. Then forward Madison from League One will be here on Friday, March 3rd. And after that, the matches count. And a big one to start the season at the Tampa Bay Rowdies at Al Lang Stadium. 2nd time in as many years that the Indy 11 haven't played an opening match, but an opening month match in downtown St. Petersburg.
What a touch by Fjellberg.
Fjellberg was sent to RGV in exchange for Jesus Vasquez, and now both playing for the Indy 11. And I can tell you, as part of that loan agreement last year, the idea was always going to be from Mark Lowry that Jonas was back here for another full season with the Indy 11. Edel very calmly touches that one away. Well, in addition to his expertise in marketing and club growth, of course, my partner was a professional goalkeeper for over a decade, so he can speak to that as well. What have you seen from Yannick Edel so far in his brief time with the Indy 11?
Well, you look at that moment right there, and it's exactly one of the things that Coach Lowry talked about in bringing him in here. He is one of the best goalkeepers with his feet that there is, and for a team that wants to build out of the back and connect the levels, he's the kind of key piece that you need to begin it.
Yannick and Yunus Boudadi are the two players that come in from Hartford Athletic after last year. And Tim Trilk, who turned into the eventual primary goalkeeper for the Indy 11. He is still on the roster as well, the young man from Rockford, Illinois. As we saw, this Indy 11 team make some rather significant roster changes during the month of July and August. As that ball springs forward, and on this turf it's going to scoot. Throw in coming in front of the Indy 11 bench for the home team today. Most of those players that were brought in at midseason have been brought back by Indy 11. But again, that whole kind of philosophy and mindset change from Mark Lowry last year at midseason was, at the beginning of the year, he tried to coach to what he thought the skill set of his roster was. And as the results kind of took a steep turn downhill in the midpoint of the season, Mark was like, you know what? We're going to go back to playing how I want to play, which is the diamond. So for fans that might need a refresher course from the second half of last year, Brad, what will you expect from a Mark Lowry diamond-based team this year?
When you take a look at what we've been putting out on Tactical Tuesdays, you can start to see that pressure, that up-tempo play defensively. And the thing I like about it is that it's total team. You can't press with just a couple guys. All guys have to be clicked in. All guys have to be engaged in that moment. And what that does is that rewards that total team effort. One guy starts to disconnect and the whole thing could break down.
So Boudadi on the pressure. That was a corner given to the Indy 11, the first of this match, coming here in minute number 7. Boudadi heading in to join the attack. And the 11 will play it short. The give back, ball sent in, and again this one cleared to the side. Still in play. And eventually that ball is touched off of Aiden Quinn. And let's talk about Aiden Quinn, because Aiden played in the Eastern Conference, the old USL Pro alignment, while the Indy 11 were playing in the NASL. From 2018 on, Orange County, Phoenix, etc., Aiden's one of the best players in the league. Our fans have never seen him play against the Indy 11. But if you ask about best players in the league, his name would always come up first. Tell us about Aiden Quinn.
Well, you look, too, at his, 10 years. He's a couple hundred games into his USL championship career. Leader, scorer, playmaker. And then you start looking at guys that have been in the league for a long time. He's getting more durable as time goes on. 5 of the last 6 seasons, he's crossed 2,500 minutes.
Aiden, a native of San Diego, but spent a good chunk of his college playing days in the Midwest. And his wife, I believe, is from the Columbus, Ohio area. So they are thrilled to be back in this part of the country. This is Quinn that plays it across, looking back post. He's able to check back defensively by Indiana Wesleyan, and on the hustle, were they able to keep it in play? No. It is deemed to be a corner coming for the Indy 11, the second in their opening 8 minutes of the match. Tim Slusarczyk, the young man you see on your screen for Indiana Wesleyan, sophomore from LaGrange Park, Illinois. Cam Lindley went about 25 minutes on Friday. See how long he may be for this match. And as he got ramped up, was told to shut it back down. Maybe just a little too much traffic and going back and forth in between the netminder.
There's a corner kicks like that with a guy on the goalkeeper. There's always some physical games going on. There's also some psychological games going on.
Lindley's second team All-USL championship this past year, playing for the Switchbacks in Colorado Springs. Tejada was the target. Again, Indiana Wesleyan got there first with another corner coming for the Indy 11 here in minute number 10. Cam played for the Indy 11 in 2020 in the COVID-shortened year. Also spent time with Memphis in our league, was in San Antonio 2 years ago. Cam's about to be a father for the first time. So I'm not sure if somebody is on Olivia watch as he's playing as we speak, but his mind might be in two places right now. Quick restart after a foul is given.
Yeah, you'd like to think with a little bit of the travel in Cam's career and moving around from club to club, that the success in the breakout season last year allows him to be a focal point of what we're building here in Indy.
And that'll be a foul against the Indy 11. And with that, let's welcome our first guest to the program today, because again, in addition to talking about, well, frankly, what you're seeing on your screen, I want to tell you about the great things that are coming up in 2023 with the Indy 11. And the graphic gives away what he's going to talk about. Michael Schetzel is joining us now in the ticketing department. I'm sure he's got an official title, but if you want tickets, Mike's the guy to talk to. Welcome to the Indy 11. So, Michael, thank you for joining us. What has your time with the Indy 11 been like so far?
So far, so good. It's been great. It's been great. I joined the club in October and getting ready here in the off season as we look forward to the home opener on April 1st.
Again, first two matches for the Indy 11 are going to be away from home. That is kind of typical for the Indy 11. They have kind of asked the league to kind of wait until April to have home matches at the Mike. 17 home matches this season, ranging from April the 1st well into October. What's unique, new, or different about Indy 11 ticket opportunities in 2023?
Well, I would just say that we're looking to, we want to fill the mic, right? That's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to come up with some different ways and get people out there. I always say the best way to get out there for the games is with our season tickets. That's the most economical way to come out and see the games. You can get the tickets at the best prices. So starting at $10 a game for a season ticket. So it's really a great opportunity to come out and enjoy the matches, especially if you're going to be there for multiple matches throughout the year.
So what's the thing with the fuel going on? What have I seen? There's some kind of partnership between a couple of the clubs here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we did this little package to highlight our home opener. It was actually their last home game with the Indy Fuel, and our home opener on April 1st. We're calling it the Circle City Hat Trick, where you can get a ticket to both teams, and you get a co-branded scarf as well. It's a nice little package that we put together. We got that online. You can go on there and get that. Check out our home opener and their final game of the season.
Couple things with you that fascinate me. You've had a lot of stops at a lot of places throughout the country. Mm-hmm. You have 2 championship rings. Talk about those 2 rings.
Well, the first one was quite special. I was director of sales and ticket services with the Boston Red Sox, and I'm from New England. I'm from Massachusetts, and that was something I really wanted to do.
I wouldn't say that too loudly around here, just as a heads up.
Well, we played the
that
Cardinals.
Other type of football. There's still a little angst about that. So
yeah, I get it. But had opportunity to be with them in 2004 when won the World Series and
broke the curse.
Broke the curse, correct, and did get a World Series ring. The club was very gracious and allowed all the front office staff to receive the same rings the players did, and so we got World Series rings there. And then when I discovered soccer, and I moved out west and was working for Real Salt Lake my very first year with the club, my very first year working with a soccer team in 2009, Real Salt Lake won MLS Cup against LA Galaxy and David Beckham.
So you are about bringing championships to clubs. That's the key that I'm getting.
I like to say that, right? Yeah, why not?
What have you heard about the game day experience, the Mike? What are you learning about the passion of the Indy 11 fans so far?
Well, I like that I'm not playing in a baseball stadium anymore as far as for soccer. The last 2 clubs I worked with both in FC Tulsa and Nashville SC, we were in a baseball stadium. So I like the fact that it's a more traditional soccer pitch, and looking forward to that. I know the BYB is very, very passionate, and looking forward to working with them on throughout the year. And looking forward to that experience here, that with large crowds and the passion that people have for soccer in the state of Indiana.
Obviously, we want to sell as many season tickets as possible, but at the same time, we're going to sell tickets for individual games.
Yes.
Obviously, the opener April the 1st, but I think I want to talk to you about as well group tickets. How easy is it to bring a group of fans, friends, family, etc., to an Indy 11 match?
It's very easy. It's the best way to come out. You know, whether you're coming out with 10 people or more, with your church, your school, your civic organization, your company, there's opportunities to come out and just enjoy the match. And it's a great way for people that are not used to coming out to see soccer to actually learn, enjoy, and just to enjoy the experience that is a soccer match, which is very unique to other sporting events. And so, yes, and it's a way you can get tickets at a special price. It's a better rate for you to come as a group over our single game prices. And so I encourage people to do that. That's really what you should do.
We're talking about crowds of 8, 9, 10,000 at most Indy 11 games. And I bring up that specific number because it's amazing for an event of that size. That'll be a goal kick coming here for Indiana Wesleyan. Michael Schetzel again, Indy 11 ticketing, joining us here. There's so many different ways to experience Indy 11 matches, even for a group of that size. There's the Brickyard Battalion experience. There's kind of the traditional bring your ticket, sit down from end line to end line and watch. But there's the suites on what would be the north end. There's the east end hospitality. So when it comes to the different variety of ways you can partake of an Indy 11 match, what do you tell people?
Well, I think there's something for everybody, like you said. But I like to key in on those hospitality areas where we do have some tents, food and beverage, and that for someone looking for that special occasion to come out, enjoy the match. We have various different levels of that you can do, whether it be in the tents and behind the goal, whether it's the east deck. Those are all very great opportunities, and of course the suites, which is a little bit more high-end opportunity.
Indy11.com, 317-685-1100. Obviously, download the Indy 11 app. Any place on the website or app that people should specifically look to go to find out more about ticketing information?
Go to Indy11.com, click on the tickets page, and you'll find everything you need to know there. Tomorrow, all the single game tickets go on sale for all of the matches, so that's key. But if you want to get something special now in April, we have a flash sale going on right now, today and tomorrow, for the games in April, not the home opener, but April 8th, the 22nd, and the 29th. You can get a single game ticket for the group ticket price. So I would check that out.
Very good.
It goes on for 24 hours.
Michael, enjoy the rest of the broadcast, my friend, and welcome
Thank
aboard.
You.
Michael Schetzel, again, ticketing office of the Indy 11. And folks, we're going to be doing this throughout the course of our broadcast. You'll hear guests every 10 minutes or so, and tremendous job by our ISC Sports Network crew. Jordan Shue able to put Michael's face. You can kind of get to know him on the broadcast, but you also never kind of leave the game action. That's kind of an idea of what we're going to do in here for the next hour and a half or so on our first ever preseason stream of Indy 11 soccer.
And you mentioned that there's a ticket option for everybody, even introverts like myself, that single game option where you can buy a ticket and go sit by yourself and watch the game.
Nobody that broadcasts professional soccer for his 10th year is an introvert. Just saying.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yes, I dare, because I have an understanding of the English language. I know you are not an introvert. I know you have marketed this whole Friday Night Introverts Club thing in like one of your other 9 jobs that you have. You're not an introvert, but we'll have that discussion off the air. All right, so 18th minute, Brad, what are we seeing so far from the Indy 11 on the pitch?
You love the fact, and Coach Lowry has talked about it through preseason, is he wants to get all 4 backs across half field. He wants to maintain possession and play the game in the attacking half of the field. You're seeing it from the back line, but then you're also seeing Yannick moving all the way up to midfield when the ball is in the opposing 18.
Foul called against Giuseppe Santroci for Indiana Wesleyan. I think I came close to getting Giuseppe's last name right. My apologies, Giuseppe. Thanks to David at Indiana Wesleyan for helping us out with information on the Wildcats for today's game. Good looking run going, just could not complete it. at the Indy 11. And Aaron Carr out to.
And some of that is really guys playing together for the first time and trying to find each other. That's twice Robledo has had the ball in the middle of the field, and Tejada's been on his left, and Jonas is making a run out on the right. And it's just that rhythm of understanding, yeah, he's going to be here. I know he's going to be here, and laying that ball into space.
And for Robledo, he's been here for 2 weeks. So he is the last and most recent addition. Young man from Queens, New York, that grew up in the NYCFC Academy, then joined FC Cincinnati's Youth Academy in 2020, played 2 games at the MLS level last year for FC Cincinnati, primarily played for FC Cincinnati's MLS Next team. And in asking him, all right, of these guys on the Indy 11, who do you know? He goes, one, Jonas Fjellberg, because they briefly spent time together with FC Cincinnati a couple of years ago. So 20 minutes in, still scoreless. I asked this question to Mark Lowry, but Brad, for those I think that usually watch our broadcast, they get to know of your coaching background. As part of Brad now working with the Indy 11 full-time, his very successful tenure as the head coach of the DePaul University men's program has now come to an end. But I asked this of Mark, the progression he wanted to see from match 1 of the preseason to match 2. What would you want to see in that spot? How do you want to see this Indy 11 team get better from what we saw against Butler on Friday?
Some of it is connectivity, guys recognizing, each other's pace, each other's runs. But then more of it is starting to take the tactics and the game plan that you've been working on every day and getting a better understanding of it, understanding when to press, when to cover for one another, stuff like that.
So Cam Lindley with space to operate. He's going to play that back of the midfield diamond, Will Lindley. Vasquez up to pressure. Taking a tumble is Winter Cassius for Indiana Wesleyan. Native of Haiti, Tejada on the sprint, trying to get there in time. Advantage being played, but now we will go back and a foul will be called against Indiana Wesleyan. Austin Keith, the player that is going to be whistled for the foul. Jonas Fjellberg, the player that drew the foul.
And that's one of the things you just love about Tejada. He is always just around and causing problems with center backs.
And let me flip that. Robledo, the player that drew the foul for the Indy 11. A few moments ago to start our broadcast, we were kind of rattling off some various news and notes and information, and one of them was about the opponents being announced today for the second season of the Indy 11 women's team. They're after their successful division championship run from last year that saw them win 10 times in 12 tries and did not lose a regular season match, as that offering towards goal was handled rather easily. Well, the team that calls this facility home for their upcoming games this year will be the women's squad, and their head coach, Paul Dolinsky, is kind enough to join us now. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
Good to see you as well, Greg.
All right, so you know who your opponents are going to be. It's going to be Racing Louisville again this year. Kings Hammer, who you played in the first ever W League match in this building on May 6th of last year, and some new teams. So thoughts about the neighborhood, so to speak, you're in 2023.
Yeah, no, we've got a couple of additions in Lexington and St. Louis. St. Louis was in the league last year. Unfortunately, did not have a very good year, but again, St. Louis is a soccer hotbed, especially in the women's game, and if they can put the pieces together, I expect them to be a very, very formidable opponent. Lexington, brand new, but again, definitely not underestimating anybody.
I realize that your focus is now on 2023, but when you think back to just how well everything went in 2022, what are you most proud of?
Player retention. I think there's players that will not be coming back, but anybody that had the opportunity to come back for 2023, they all want to be back, and they're all excited about it.
You take a look at that retention. You talk about players not coming back. Some of that is because they have moved on to their pro careers and they're starting to move into that next tier. That's got to be satisfying as a coach to know that you're part of that development.
Well, no, not knowing what we were going to be discussing today, that's something I wanted to bring up. We've got 3 girls in NWSL preseasons right now, and one young lady just signed a pro contract in Europe. today.
And that would be?
I cannot say.
Okay. All right. Hasn't been announced yet. All right.
So we will get that out in public knowledge as soon as possible.
You're going to tell us at halftime just for the three of us, right?
Right. We'll get this microphone off.
There we go. Very good. Well, and let's be honest. Again, you were one of the best teams in the league, maybe even in the top 2 or 3 teams in the league last year. The quality of soccer and the quality of player you had, I just got to tell you, it was so much fun calling your team's matches last year.
Thank you.
What do you want to see even improve and get better in 2023?
Well, no, again, the players lost are fortunately players lost for good reasons, and players not returning is because I believe that we as a staff have found players that enhance our roster and enhance the depth of our roster, so it should be just as, if not more exciting than the previous year.
You played your matches here in this building, and obviously this is a limited number of fans to watch this preseason friendly. I think back to the opening night of May 6th, and there are about 2,000 people in here. There may have been more, but 2,000 is what we told the fire marshal that was in the building that night. And I know your players couldn't hear you. You're screaming from the bench, and it was so loud in here. When you think back to that specific game, what memories come flooding back to your mind?
One, walking out of the locker room the last time I had the chance to speak to the girls before kickoff and just witnessing what it was all about. I hadn't experienced anything close to that since I was a player. Seeing that in the girls' game, and more important, sorry BYB, but all the young ladies that were in attendance, 8, 9, 10-year-old girls that had an opportunity to watch players play at the level that they want to try to aspire to get to one day was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's such a cool thing. You talk about, you have had some players that moved on, and yet you like some of the changes in the roster this year. Take us through that process of finding new players. I know there was an open tryout in December. What is your offseason like? Are you watching college games? You're going to games. How does that develop into the new roster?
So just with time restrictions, unfortunately, Brandon and Grace were unable to travel, but ESPN Plus came in handy, and they were able to watch multiple college games on a weekly basis. I was able to scour the region and get to D1, D2, D3 games and watch players play live in person. And from that, I think some doors and avenues were open, not just for this season, but hopefully relationships with universities moving forward.
Right. Awesome.
Seals, it rolls around in May. Again, we announced today, the entire league did, what the division alignments are going to be. We, as the Indy 11, will announce home schedule, full schedule, the whole 9 yards. Here's the one thing I'll let out of the bag. I think I'm back on 4 of the 5 calls of the home matches this year for the Indy 11 women because, again, I had so much fun. Paul, we'll let you go enjoy the rest of your day. Congratulations on a great first year. I know we're all looking forward to year 2.
Appreciate it, guys.
Paul Dolinsky, again, the women's head coach of the Indy 11. Again, that May 6th Kings Hammer game, that is amongst one of the cooler nights I have been a part of as a broadcaster because you go, I hope this takes off. I hope this works. This place was absolutely packed, Brad. The atmosphere in here was just tremendous.
And that's one of the things you have to love about Indy, the way it supports soccer at the youth level, at the high school level, at the college level, and then when you take a look at the response with our W League team, it's just been fantastic.
So 3 new faces coming in for the Indy 11 after 25 minutes. Jack Blake, a guy that we haven't seen play in 5 years, again against the Indy 11. Happy that he is now playing for the Indy 11. Jack from Nottingham in England, played for the Jacksonville Armada in 2017, played for Minnesota United in their last non-MLS season in 2016, played on the USL Cup champs Real Monarchs for Real Salt Lake in 2019. As a San Diego Loyal last couple of years, we are thrilled that he is here with the Indy 11. And look at other players that just entered the fray. I'm pretty sure that's Robbie Dambrot over at left back, and I got a good feeling his family's watching in Pittsburgh as we speak. So hello to any and all Dambrots that are watching our preseason stream today. Let's talk about Robbie, because of all the players that we saw brought in at mid-year, seemingly he clicked immediately with what Mark Lowry wanted to get accomplished.
Well, up and down the field.
Yeah.
And endless energy, and the engine just runs and runs and runs. And when you take a look at the way this team wants to press and attack with their outside backs, he is the perfect model for that philosophy.
And the other player that came in, Seba, known by simply a nickname. And a card is going to be shown, and in a preseason friendly, nobody's going to be shown a red. You'll simply wave another player on. But foul is drawn by the Indy 11. Lindley, the player that was fouled, immediately a tap on the back from the Indiana Wesleyan player that got him. think that's Jackson Carpenter that was the guilty party. But a second chance to work on set pieces here for the Indy 11. And it was just kind of that, it wasn't Carpenter that got him, it was that step right there. Yep. Great job by our camera crew to bring that to you. And speaking of our crew, thank you to Jordan Shue, David Kahn, Aaron Van Wolding, and Alex Laverne. Making sure you can see all the action from Grand Park from anywhere in the world this afternoon. Blake.
Oh, what a ball.
Sends it in. Touch, tipped, and scored. Well, you heard my partner's expertise on the quality of service, so not surprising that the ball finds the back of the net. 1-0 for the Indy 11, 29 minutes in.
How's that Guinzotti's first touch today?
It makes sense, right? So Sebastian Guinzotti, that is what he has done for so many years. Again, Brad and I, because, we're old, we go about talking things like this. We saw Guinzotti play for so many years for the New York Cosmos. Suffered an injury right at the end of the 2016 season. Then went to Tampa Bay and became an absolute legend for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Had a little bit of a down year in terms of opportunities a season ago. Wanted a change of scenery, and much like we would say about Aiden Quinn in the history of the USL, simply put, he is one of the best players in the history of the league, one of the leading scorers in the history of the league, and we are thrilled to have him here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, 21 goals in 21. And last year you say that the numbers weren't quite there. Well, a lot of it was the emergence in 2022 of Leo Fernandez.
Correct.
And Guinzotti, utilizing his skills more as a playmaker at that time.
Feldberg trying to play it to the back post and just could not slide it through. So the opportunities are starting to pick up for the Indy 11. Jack Blake going to be whistled for the foul. And we want to have a chance now to welcome our player guest, and frankly, we hope he is healthy enough to be back on the pitch as soon as possible in his second season with the Indy 11. It is Brian Rebione that joins us. Good to see you, my friend. Of course, buddy. Brian, what is it like to be back here now for a second season with the club?
I feel awesome, to be honest with you. I feel like this year we have a great group of guys, and hopefully we can put this team where it belongs.
This is obviously your second or even third go-around, I think it was third, in fact, of playing for a Mark Lowry-coached team. So you would know the answer to this question better than most. How do the pieces that are now assembled here fit the way that he wants to play?
I was talking to Jack Blade the other day. We played together in Jacksonville, and we agreed that we have a really good group of guys. We have a lot of quality, and it's going to be very good for the team. And Mark is going to have a hard time picking up the guys because the competition is going to be good now, and the players are going to be showing up every training session, and all these players just come here to play. And I was joking with the coach the other day. I said, Mark, you're going to have a problem picking up the 11, even though everybody's working towards the same goal. And that's a good problem for him. I feel like if everybody's focusing on one goal, it's gonna be a good season for us.
Yeah, that's a tough problem to have as a coach. It's a tough problem to have as players. One of the things too that makes that work is the quality of the people that are the players, is the ability to say, hey, it's your day today, not mine, it's my day today, and to support each other. When you look at the veterans and the chemistry on this team, what kind of character do you see in your teammates?
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, it's just amazing how these new guys came into place, and it feels like they have been here for years. Obviously, great group of people, Jack, Cam, Quinn as well. Guinzotti, you guys were talking about him, a top scorer, and this guy just so humble and come to play and to work really hard. And I feel like when everybody's pushing in the same direction, it's just easy to work as a team. And I feel like this year we're gonna be 11 guys on the field, and then the rest of the guys supporting from outside, and like you said, just waiting for the moment to come in and give the 100% for the team.
Love that. I pay attention to all of our broadcasts. Whenever my partner Greg is speaking, I am dialed in on what he's saying.
He's not really. That's why he's saying that. Yes.
He says that you have a connection to Indiana. What is that connection?
Well, my lovely wife, she's from Fishers, Indiana, so. I always joke that she was the one that negotiated my contract here. So Yeah, she's from Indianapolis.
And in the amazing coincidence of life, you guys met when you were in Los Angeles, right?
Yep, yeah, we were in Los Angeles, and then here we are, home.
I also remember from talking to you last year that you're quite the gearhead. You're a car aficionado. Did you have a chance to go out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last May?
I had the opportunity to go to the Indy 500, and that was amazing. To be honest with you, I felt like a kid, just seeing all these big cars and all big toys. It was a great experience. To be honest with you, I didn't expect the car to go that fast, but it was great.
Well, we've got something. I know we've got the Racing Indy on Memorial Day and the stuff around the track, but we've also got something in the fall. We're partnering with the BC 39. We'll hear about it a little bit in promotion. So it's going to be some sprint car stuff. Have you done anything with sprint cars?
I have not, but I will be definitely down to do it.
If somebody takes you to a dirt track racing, now you're becoming a Hoosier.
Yeah, there you go.
On a dirt track, it's serious at that point.
Yeah, there we go. I will be waiting for the invitation.
This is your second year of being here. We've talked about that from a couple different standpoints, but I asked this question for this reason. To be able to train at a place like this every day, we don't have to worry about weather. You're indoors. What's it like playing here every day, getting ready for the season?
It's a blessing, to be honest with you. It's a blessing. Like I said before, we are as a team aware of all the facilities, all the great things that we have in this team, and we know the responsibility that it takes to be part of the Indy 11. If you go around the league and see the big teams, the Indy 11 has to be there because we have everything, in order to succeed. And I feel like I said before, this group of guys are very focused on bringing the Indy 11 back on top where it belongs.
From an injury standpoint, we're going to see you back on the pitch.
Oh, hopefully next week. I thought I had COVID, but I took the 3 tests just to make sure that I was safe for everyone. So hopefully next week I will be back on the field.
Very good to hear. Goal kick coming here for the visitors from Indiana Wesleyan.
When you look at this roster, you know the guys on this team. I mean, you know the names. You've seen them through the league. Is there anybody that surprised you? Is there anybody that was a notch higher than what you saw when you were playing against them?
To be honest with you, I knew all the guys. I used to play a lot against Cam Lindley. We used to kick each other all the time. But no, like I said before, I mean, I didn't know them personally, but I think that's one of the things that really surprised me the most is that they are such a good group of people. When you play against them, they are not the greatest. They can say, I mean, fair enough, they want to win the game. So, but it can be tough playing against those guys. But now having them on the same team, I think is great, and is a great opportunity for Indy to do great things this year.
You talk about doing great things, and I don't know if you feel it on the inside. As we've been watching kind of from the outside and watching the pieces come together and everything, it feels like there's something special going on with this group. Do you guys feel it in the clubhouse, or is it just business as usual right now?
Oh, we definitely feel it in the clubhouse. Every day, everybody just comes together, and like I said before, everybody's pushing in the same direction, and I feel like that's what's going to make the difference this year.
Brian, we'll let you go enjoy, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you back on the pitch real soon. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Brian Rabillon, kind enough to join us here again at our broadcast location above the playing surface at Grant Park. Yannick Edel getting a little bit more of a workout. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder. We'll have another guest, and Alex Janaszek from the shop that joins us at halftime. Cam Lindley will be our player guest in half number 2, and more guests coming up during the second half as well.
We should do this at every game. I love that.
See, now you're thinking like the director of marketing and not the actual analyst.
No,
the actual analyst doesn't want to give up that much, airtime.
It's an introvert, though. I'm fine giving up that airtime.
You're not an introvert. 38th minute in, Indy 11 with a 1-0 lead against Indiana Wesleyan, and most of the activity, as you'd expect from, again, a second-tier professional team in the United States against a solid program from the NAIA small college level in the state of Indiana. You'd expect that this would be rather one-sided in terms of possession, and it has been. And again, in fairness to the guys from Indiana Wesleyan, their other 4 preseason friendlies aren't until April. And for those of you that maybe watch the pro ranks and don't follow the college ranks, still not exactly a 2-semester sport. All of your competition, conference matches, postseason take place August through December. You're permitted to play a handful of friendlies, scrimmages, etc. during the course of the spring. And that one was taken over the byline, so it will be a corner coming for the Indy 11. Their 4th so far of the match.
One thing I've really enjoyed seeing here is the connectivity between Fjellborg and Budati here on this side, is the width that both of them have and the amount of opportunities that have come from these guys slicing the ball through the box. We're just missing that final piece in the 18, but you can see how dangerous things can be.
Well, you've referenced Tactical Tuesdays, and I'll ask you some coaching tactics here. We have seen a left-footed player that could fly down the left side of the attack like a Tyler Pasher. Right now, Fjellborg, being a dominant left-footed player, is on the left side. We've also seen him play on that right side. What do you prefer in terms of that left-footed guy? You want him using that left foot to come back inside or that left foot to go down the outside?
Some of it is going to be in that read as he isolates that edge defender. Where is the cover? Can he take him to the outside? Can he take him to the inside? And so you do a lot of the work ahead of time on film to say, okay, here's how those are. The center back is going to line up behind the wing back, and here's where your space and opportunities can come from. So you may slide a left-footed guy out to the right because the cover drops a little bit deep, and the cut is going to be to the inside.
A bit of a dangerous ball here. Edel will quickly retreat. He's got defenders between he and the ball. First kind of errant pass from the goalkeeper, and then the shot sprayed wide by Indiana Wesleyan, so no damage done. And speaking of Tyler Pasher, we will see him play against the Indy 11 for the first time this year, as he is now a member of the Birmingham Legion after 2 seasons at the Major League Soccer level. Tyler, of course, the 2nd leading scorer in the history of the Indy 11.
Have you seen the roster that they've built?
Pretty good, too.
Oh, my goodness.
For as the high level of confidence we have in this group that Mark Lowry and Greg Stremlow have assembled with the Indy 11, it's not going to be easy to break through in the Eastern Conference because of what Lou City does every year, how good Tampa is every year, because Bob Lilly's still the coach in Pittsburgh, and they're going to be tough every year.
But Birmingham was a solid team last year. Not just Pasher, but didn't Nico Brett come back as well? And they got Martinez still?
Yep. Good group that Tom Sohn and Jay Heaps have put together.
That's
Birmingham.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year.
8 teams make the playoffs out of 12 in each of the 2 conferences in the USL Championship this year. 24 teams will compete in the USL Championship, and from a scheduling math number, 34 regular season league games, it makes it the easiest possible computation you could have. You play everybody in your conference twice, home and away. That's 22 games. You play everybody in the other conference 1 time, home or away. That's 12 games. That equals 34. So for the first time since 2000, trust me, I did the math. You're good. It checks out.
All right.
For the first time since the Indy 11s last year in the NASL in 2017, we will see every team in the league appear on the Indy 11 schedule. For example, will the Indy 11 have their home opener against Las Vegas Lights on April 1st? No fooling. It will be the first time that Indy has seen the Las Vegas Lights and played against them.
The cool part about that is, through the time that we've been doing this, coming into the 10th season, you've got former 11 players spread out all over the league. I think Las Vegas, it's Andrew Carlton.
Justin Ingram is there too, correct?
Ingram's, yeah, and then Timmers with Sacramento.
Correct.
So we get to meet up with some of the old boys in blue occasionally.
Indy saw a handful of the Western Conference teams last year, not all of them. They played 8 of the 13 a season ago, which is what leads to, again, like we said when they first entered the game, guys like Jack Blake and Aiden Quinn, we haven't seen those guys in 5 years because they played in the opposite conference. And for many years, that was like playing against a completely different league, East versus West. Dan Brott sends it in.
Yeah, it was very much like the NBA that we grew up with. The West was the high-scoring, high-flying. The East was the down-and-dirty, grind-out a 1-0 win.
We call that Bob Lilly style around here. Martin Rennie didn't mind practicing that either during his days with the Indy 11. And we had this misconception about the East versus West, like the West was a pickup game and the East was a fist fight. We've kind of learned that maybe they're a little more similar than we had first given them credit for. Cleared out of the edge of the 18 by the visitors from Iowa. They certainly have put forth a fantastic effort. I'm asking you to put your college coaching hat back on. you're a college coach, a small college coach, and a professional team says, hey, come give us a run. What does that do for your kids when you have that opportunity?
We did that at DePaul a few years ago, and it's just such an exciting thing for the guys. The one aspect that you get is you're trying to get buy-in the whole time from your entire roster on, hey, we need to press here, we need to run here. There is no shortage of guys willing to run in a game like this, to play in a game against guys like this for this opportunity.
We thank you for joining us for this Indy 11 preseason friendly. Sebastian Wenzati has the tally so far. Indy with a 1-0 lead. This is the second of 5 preseason matches that the Indy 11 will play. They get the season opener March 11th against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Then a week off. Then it'll be a chillier trip to Hamtramck and Keyworth Stadium to take on Trevor James in Detroit City on March 25th. And the Las Vegas Lights begin a month largely at home for Indy on April the 1st. Ball sent in. Wenzati was the target. Good job by the center back to track that down, and we have a player down behind the play, hence the reason why we have the stoppage in action. And given the fact that this is, again, a preseason friendly, I'm not sure we're looking at anything in terms of added time or things like we'll play the 45 and give the guys a breather and come back and try it again.
You get to a moment like this where, there's 60 seconds left in the match, and as a coach, you're starting to think, nothing really positive is going to be able to happen here with the restart. Let's just call it at this point, make sure nobody gets hurt, sticking their leg into a place that doesn't belong.
And again, the clock that you see on your screen, there isn't even a clock or a scoreboard here for today's match, so we're doing that manually, so I wouldn't be sweated the added extra time that we'll get. Our referee will look at his wristwatch at some point or get a nod from one of the lines people, and there's it right there. Yep, in the vicinity of 45 minutes. Close enough. 1-0 for the Indy 11. Let's show you this quick feature on the Indy 11 offseason training, and we'll come back and tell you about the latest and greatest Indy 11 gear that you can pick up from our partnership with the shop. Wenzati taps it in. Indy 11, 1 goal to the good in this preseason friendly as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Cuts, header, in! The opening goal belongs to Pino!
Indy 11 holds on for the 2-1 victory here at HEB Park, and they celebrate their first win of the year.
Speaking of Law slides it. There it is! A go-ahead goal for the Indy 11. Ari Springs.
Arriaga on the turn. Arriaga back to his right foot. That's brilliant. Holding off defenders, plays it across. 3 for Indy. Lays it off. That is a first half hat trick for Arriaga, the all-time club leader in appearances.
For Solomon Asante, not 1, not 2, but 3 assists. Curtain call moment for the best player in Indy 11 history. Thank you for being such a wonderful part of this club for 5 years. Congrats on a great run, Iose. A look back at some of the highlights from 2022, and we kind of put together our best 11 moments of 2022. The one you saw at the end was Brad and my favorite moment as well. Iose with the send-off, but that's simply as a player. He has not left Indianapolis. As we mentioned earlier, he is on the sidelines for the Indy 11 this year as an assistant coach, and I would imagine he'll have an appearance on Soccer Saturday coming up in a matter of moments. We thank you for joining us on ISC TV, ISCSportsNetwork.com, Indy 11 and ISC's Twitter and YouTube, and the Indy 11 Facebook feed as well. Our first time that we have ever streamed a preseason friendly. So far, Indy 11 a goal to the good over Indiana Wesleyan by a score of 8-0. I referenced Soccer Saturday. This gentleman was with me all of 3 days ago, and he's stuck talking to me again. Alex Janizak from the shop in Indy. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, too. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I hear you brought gifts for us.
Yeah, I've got some stuff.
Correct?
I got some scarves.
All right, so it is merch time, and we have themed scarves this year.
Everyone's favorite time.
So feel free to be, to model these for the camera. So I tell you what, Brad, you're the creative genius that came up with this. Walk us through the It's Time campaign that we see on these scarves here this year.
Yeah, happy to. So you take a look at It's Time, you put those two words together. There's an urgency and there's an accountability that's attached to them. As far as the urgency component, we know the cool things that are happening when 11 Park comes, but we don't want to wait to be great. It's time to be great now. Then you start looking at the accountability aspect of It's Time. Everything from ownership to front office to players to coaches to support staff, everything is in place for this team to lead the league on the field, lead the league in social media, lead the league in attendance. Everything that we're going to do is about being in first place. So it's time to be great now.
Shop.indy11.com is where you can go online to get all of this great gear. Because I live so close to one of these shop brick and mortar locations in beautiful downtown Broad Ripple, there is a wonderful Indy 11 display. When you walk in there, are these scarves now available to the public?
I just got these in. These just went online today.
Okay.
So you can get them online today, and we're running a deal today. Buy one, get one half off for the live stream. So, but they will be in stores here soon. Indy 11 collection for this year will be in both of our locations in Carmel and Broad Ripple here in a couple weeks.
Depending on how many things Alex hands me during this, I might look like Joey from Friends in a particular episode. All the stuff I'm wearing. All right, Alex, what you got next?
Oh, I got some hats.
I need a hat.
Hats.
As I can tell with this camera angle, I'm bald, so I need
hats. Hats are always difficult because everyone likes a different type of hat. Right?
Yes.
So we love the rope hat. This is kind of a vintage one. Doesn't work for me. I got a big head, so that doesn't fit my head very well.
That'll work for you. It's not going to work for me either.
Well, that's a youth hat that we did. This is one of our more popular ones we did last year. Now we've got it in youth, so you can match your kid. That might work for you. That's the golf hat. It's a tech material, so you can sweat through it. Nothing like a white hat, get fingerprints on it.
I'm that guy, yep.
We got a couple kind of retro style, throwing it back to the old school age with the old sports specialty script.
Absolutely, yep.
And then the arch text, the simplicity of it is what I like. We just ran these today.
Yep.
I won't give you this one, but it's got like a leather patch. It has the IXI on it. It's like a wool blend hat. So that's a few things we have out.
So who comes up with this? I mean, is this something you'll come up with in a dream? You'll wake up and you got a sketch pad next to your bed, or how does that all develop?
It's kind of a team effort. We've got a guy on staff who runs our production from the printing standpoint. He's been an Indy 11 fan, and he's a diehard soccer fan, but he was there when they announced the team on the circle 11 years ago. He comes up with a lot of the specialty kits we do and kind of the more soccer-centric things. I like this old school style, so I'll try to bring those back. And that's why you'll see everything we do is kind of different, because now we've got a couple young guys who help design hats. So it's really a team effort, and it helps because we have such a diverse fan base. We don't want all the merch to be targeted towards one demo on that fan base.
This right here is early 90s, which I refer to as my heyday. So
right. They call it the Griswold, right? Because he wore his Chicago Bears hat in Christmas Vacation. But yeah, that's the old sports specialty script that's so popular. And this year we added a little flexible crest on the side.
I like that.
So just another little thing. We've got some T-shirts and sweatshirts. This is more geared towards the youth. It's got a screen print on it and a patch.
I love the patch on that.
So
I saw that online this week.
This is one of our younger guys, Carson. He just became a father. He just got back from paternity leave, but he's the young hip one, because I'll be 42 on Friday. So
I love how he thinks that's old. Yeah.
Careful.
You're the youngest person on the broadcast.
Right. Hey, but
lightly.
we've got T-shirts. This is our 5th year doing merch for the Indy 11, which is crazy. And we're also doing with the time theme with It's Time. So we're going to bring back some of our more popular designs from years past. We got the 11 flag, which was
awesome.
One of our more popular designs, where it's just an 11, kind of like the state flag or city flag. So that's online right now. We've got this kick-ass stonewash kind of vintage 90s looking T-shirt.
And I think most of our viewers have shop gear at some point in time.
You
but
better.
Again, I can. My wife swears by your T-shirts, and the designs are great. It's the quality of the material
super
you guys
soft,
have.
super
Tremendous.
soft, right? And
Yep.
a lot of kid stuff, especially at games.
Yep.
Parents want to get their kids something. I've got 4 kids. You get them something, they're quiet. You can drink more beer, watch more soccer.
And notice he brings all small, so I don't take any of it. It's amazing. How that works.
We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you a package.
Appreciate that.
So we got a new kid shirt
Zeke.
featuring Zeke, right? We'll have tons of kid stuff. 5 or 6 designs we have online right now to keep the young fans happy. We got some more kind of these cool ringer tees.
That's
this
old
comes
school.
This comes in youth and adult, so you can match. I think there's a picture of me on social media with me and one of my sons wearing this. We got another one with just a simple arch text. So that's just kind of what we have right now.
Now this is all apparel stuff. You just got back from Vegas. You found some pretty cool things in Vegas. Did you bring any of those, or can you talk through a little bit of them?
Also, I've got I brought this. This is not the one we're getting designed, but we produce so much stuff in-house with screen print, do hats, but we've been talking to other brands that operate in soccer who are big soccer fans. This is from Added Time Outfitters out of Cincinnati. They're just little
wristbands.
Little wristbands. They come with a card. Typically, they have a timeline on them, which is really unique. This one is
come with a yellow card. That's nice.
Right. It comes with a little yellow card, and this one celebrates the miracle at the mic. Right.
Our fans don't want to pick up yellow cards supporting the team before. That's not surprising.
So we've got a custom one coming. It'll be here by the end of the month from Added Time Outfitters. We're working with a really cool hat company out of Portland, Oregon called Official League. They do stuff for USL teams. They've got Bundesliga, La Liga teams. So they're a small company, but they're a big deal, and they do really unique headwear.
I can't let you get away without, you mentioned cards.
Come on
okay. Now.
Okay, yeah. So going along with the time theme for this year, we're going to have a lot of limited time and limited edition things. There'll be items where I may text you one night and say, hey, this drops, you got 11 hours to buy it, then it's gone. But we're going to do trading cards this year. We're going to do a 25-piece set. You can get one at each game, so that's 17, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have a couple other where maybe you have to buy something online to get it, or you have to go accomplish some task. Or
you see the wheels turning, don't you?
Yeah.
You see them turning, don't
There's
you?
going to be a rake straw.
Hey!
There's going to be a rake straw card.
One of you.
Nope.
It has to be one of you two. We'll have to have a tandem pick.
So it's going to be players, mascots. We'll probably have a BYB one. So if you want to collect this set, you got to go to every match and buy one. You may have to buy something online. You may have to go do something, go to a partner and accomplish something. That's not all completely ironed out, but there'll be limited edition trading cards. We're also going to bring back our pin collections this year and pin at every home match.
Think of the kids at school in late September. They've got 24 sets. They're all missing the rake straw card. The amount of wheeling and dealing that's going on at lunch.
Folks, that's the reason why.
Throwing them in the hat.
And I will sign them, which will take the value from a dime down to a nickel at that point in time. Shop.indy11.com.
Shop.indy11.com. We're running a sale. Buy one, get one half off. Started at 3 o'clock today. Goes to the end of the day. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Get one for you and one for your sweetheart.
Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
Awesome. Thank
again,
you.
Alex Janaszek from the shop in Indy, and again, a great partner with the Indy 11. Stay tuned. Second half action comes your way next. Indy 11 leading Indiana Wesleyan 1-0 as you're watching Indy 11 preseason soccer right here on the ISC Sports Network.
11 is more powerful, stronger than the individual. No one on this team wears number 11. That's right, Andy, right? No one on this team wears number 11. It's just a rule this team's had way longer than I've been here, and I kind of like it. Because the number 11, the team, the collective, is more important than any, it's more important than me. If I leave tomorrow, if I get fired tomorrow, this team continues. If one of you leaves tomorrow, this team continues. And it signifies a team, 11 players together. So when you have the right people, a clear plan, which hopefully we will give you, that's our job, and get everyone pulling in the same direction together, the future holds no limitations. Pulling in the same direction together. We've obviously added some tremendous talent this offseason. You don't need to know much about soccer to realize that. The players who brought in, the quality they have and the reputation throughout the league, it can be unparalleled. So we're looking forward to getting them here and seeing them play together. We're looking forward to work with them because they're high-level professionals. But we also know it's going to be a challenge because when you've got a lot of good players together, it doesn't mean you're going to win games, right? There has to be chemistry. They have to learn to play with each other. We have to figure out, the balance of the team, the balance of the lineup. So all those things over the 6-7 week preseason will be really important for us. But we know this year the talent of the squad is unquestionable, undeniable. So we're really looking forward to working with that talent. As a coach, that's the dream, to have good players on the field. Then we can kind of get our identity into them, teach them how we want to play the game, and hopefully that translates to a really, really good team on the field.
It's been really good, although my teammates welcome me with open arms, good vibe in here, beautiful setup, and just happy to be here and get to work.
You were in one spot for a while, so what has this process been like, sort of changing and going into a new preseason?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy when you feel at home in one place for so many years, give everything. Coming to a new place where they made it easy for me. They welcomed me, with open arms, like I said, and everybody has been great, from the front office to the coaching staff and the players.
For those who maybe haven't watched as much in Tampa because they're just watching Indy, kind of give us a glimpse into where your game is at right now and what you feel like your biggest strengths are.
I'm just a hard worker. My skills come after, but as long as I can help the team as much as I can and work hard, that's my objective here.
Could have done that any better. Greg Ray, it's mid-season timing with the ISC Sports Network. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. Thanks for joining us on ISC TV, ISCSportsNetwork.com, and both the ISC and Indy 11 social media channels. Solomon Asante. Good to see Solo getting some run today for the Indy 11. We didn't see him in half number 1. Jack Blake, who came on late, stays in, ball headed, and in. Back of the net, goal for Sebastian Guenzati. He hasn't lost that goal scorer's touch. He's touched it twice and scored twice.
You look at some of the breakdowns last year, it was in the box. It was just missing the opportunity, or the pass was off, or the touch was off in there. Guenzati's had 2 inside the box. Indy 11's up 2-0.
I'm so glad we put that GoPro in that goal specifically.
How about that?
Great job by our ISC Sports Network crew. So 2-0 for the Indy 11. And Aiden Quinn out there on the field. Looks like Cam Lindley is back out after a breather. Jesus Vasquez got bumped off the ball, and our referee agrees that he got bumped off the ball. So what interesting to note that we're going to see some guys maybe kind of back out there, and I would assume this is being done just so certain players like Meshach Jerome, who's out there now, and Solomon Asante, who's out there now, that they get some run with some of their other teammates that maybe they didn't get in the first half.
And you look at the minutes on, Aiden Quinn and Cam Lindley and Budati and Vasquez and Robledo, and you're starting to look at they're starting to build that minutes up as it gets further and further into preseason.
And Revion not playing yet from an injury standpoint. He's a guy who we expect to be a major part of the rotation. And in talking with Mark Lowry, you're probably going to see maybe one or two less kind of rotational players this year, with the idea of, a core of say 16 or 17, probably going to be enough, knowing that other than U.S. Open Cup matches, there are no midweek league matches for Indy 11 until mid-July.
Right. And look at the depth. What's different from this year from last year is Rebion was talking about the battle, the closeness and ability of these top 16, 17 players. You can give a guy a day's rest. You can go through an injury with the depth that the club has.
By the way, Yannick Edel went the first 45 minutes in goal. Tim Trilk is now in there for the Indy 11, and that is probably the, there's not exactly a lot of question marks. Maybe total numbers for the Indy 11 would be a question mark right now. But in terms of the goalkeeping position, you feel good about either guy in net, Edel or Trilk.
100%. This is, I think, the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, like you always do, this is the first time that we've had 2 starting keepers. Now, you take a look at the times that we've had Evan Newton and Jordan Farr, or Bushy and Farr. Farr wasn't there yet. He was still kind of a rookie. Right now, you've got 2 guys that you trust with a critical game on the line.
Last year, it was keeper by committee. Trilk eventually won the job, but that was not how it was designed. Asante plays it in. Again, a touch that just kind of trickles away from goal, and it will be a goal kick coming.
Imagine if that would have gone in. Imagine if Guenzati gets 3 touches in the 6 and we're up 3-0.
Guenzati brought on Stefano Pino, not brought back by the Indy 11. Part of that was his desire to play a little closer to home. Pino was a tremendous find a season ago. And frankly, the uptick that he had in playing for Mark Lowry is what is hoped, for Guenzati.
Right.
Frankly, Sebastian Guenzati was more productive in 2022 than, say, Stefano Pino was in 2021 before he came here.
That was one goal, right?
Correct.
He's coming off one goal.
Correct. The press that you're seeing from the Indy 11, again, this is exactly as it's designed.
Yeah.
And again, it's a level up in competition, several levels up in competition for the guys from Indiana Wesleyan. And we at ISC are fortunate enough to see a lot of these Crossroads League teams with our partnership with Marian University. Marian played the Indy 11 in a preseason friendly a year ago.
You talk about that press, and it's so critical that everybody's bought in, because all it takes is one guy to not fill the lane, not apply the pressure at the right angle, and then all of a sudden the trap is gone and you've spent bodies into a place and you allow yourself out on the counter.
One thing I will say is that we are primarily seeing first team guys for the Indy 11. Ball sent across, looking back post, couldn't get to it in time. And that is swept sideways.
But you have to love a couple of things. There were so many great opportunities with Budati and Fjellberg coming down the right side and playing the ball across. You take a look at the difference since Guenzati's been in the game. They're finding him. He's finding the right run. He's finding the right spot to get to, and they're playing the ball into a position that he's able to get a touch on it.
Again, Asante the target. One of the leaders in goals scored and assist in the history of the USL Championship. Corner coming for the Indy 11. Good time to welcome our first second half guest, Jonathan Jones, better known as JJ, joining us here. Good to see you, my friend.
What's happening, Captain?
Hey, Kids Club is relaunching for the Indy 11. Tell us about it.
It is. We're trying to build that new fan base. We've got the hardcores, and we need that younger crowd. And Brad, I just love this dynamic. It's like a Pat Summerall, John Madden. You're standing, sitting. I want to be part of this team.
We need a telestrator.
Yes. Getting Zeke out more. Going to have a lot of big events this year. One really large one, Saturday, March 18th, Children's Museum. It is their opening day of the Sports Legends Experience. And we are a grateful partner of theirs now. We have a pitch in the middle of that facility, and at 11:11 a.m. on March 18th will be the unveil of that pitch right there, and it's going to be a good time.
Rake, have you seen that field out at the Children's Museum?
I have, and I am thrilled that it took a little while for the Indy 11 to become a partner of the Children's Museum on this front. They absolutely should be and are now, which is wonderful to see.
And I've had, we met with the team last week, and we're kind of telling them about some of the events we have coming up. I've had 3 players in the last 4 days asking how they can actually buy memberships for their family for the Children's Museum. So it's going to be a really good thing for us. It'll give us some more opportunity to just be there on weekends, just to hang out, let kids see who we are, come out, kick a ball around. Zeke will be there quite a bit. We have some players from both our men's and our women's team. I was actually talking to Paulie earlier today, and we're going to have the gals out on the 18th. He's already got some names for me. We want to get them out just as much as the guys this year.
What will somebody's Kids Club membership get for them and their family when they come to an Indy 11 game this year?
It's going to be the experience. There will obviously be the giveaways, Zeke's Club scarves. We've got some surprise gifts that are coming right now, but it's going to be a lot of the access.
And that Rake Straw trading card may be in one of those Kids Club's packs.
Well, I would assume.
I think that would be the first one.
I would assume that Brad Hutter would bring goats to matches, would be my guess. Is that accurate?
There could be a goat yoga session this year out in the family fun zone. We just have to make sure that all the goats are of the right size and willing to participate in this. We're also talking, we talked with the shop
we're going to have to use the van for that, because have you seen his car? He could fit half a goat in that.
Right, maybe, if he's lucky.
But we've talked to the shop about doing some Indy 11 yoga pants for that as well, so that'd be kind of a cool activity. You talked about—
I will get Rake a pair of yoga pants.
Nobody wants to see that, including me.
You talked about Zeke and appearances with Zeke. You are Zeke's trainer. So
the handler.
The handler, sorry.
The handler.
So what are some of the things that Zeke is going to be involved in this year?
Oh, man, you name it. The month of May out of IMS, we are looking at half the month we'll be there at the track. Some of the bigger events, the Carmel 4th of July parade, Sparks, Fishers, that'll be a couple nights there. The kids on the circle leading up to the 500. There's going to be a lot of kids events through the month of May around the city, and he'll be around.
He's busy.
He's uncontrollable. I just need to get a leash.
When it comes to the website, the app, etc., where can people find out more information about the Indy 11?
There will be a drop down on Indy11.com, and it'll be a drop down specifically for the Kids Club. You apply there, and it actually goes directly to my inbox, and I will see it and handle it from there.
JJ, enjoy
Thanks,
the rest of the match. Good to see you as always.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck trying to control that guy in the office, too, by the way.
It won't work.
No, I know.
No, he always says he's at meetings. We can never find him.
Don't blow my cover.
I have a meeting.
Brad's part of the Big Kids Club with the Indy 11.
Yes.
Thanks, JJ.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan Jones, thank you to join us again. Look for more about the Kids Club in 2023 when you log on to Indy11.com or you download the app. 56th minute, a goal in each half for Sebastian Guenzati in his second match in an Indy 11 uniform. Harrison Robledo had the lone tally for Indy against Butler on Friday. 2-0 Indy 11 with the win. And again, as we mentioned, you'll see some trialists, playing today for the Indy 11. But what's been nice for us, it's primarily been the guys we're going to talk about from March on that we have seen so far today from Mark Lowry's team.
It is, and it's nice to see them together. It's nice to see where, they're going to be putting the pieces and watch how they start to connect. When you looked at this last little 10-minute run here, a few turnovers and Iwu getting out in transition a little bit, and you wonder if it's because, here we're in the 55th, 56th minute at this point, and we're still early in preseason.
Meshach Jerome back for his second year with the Indy 11. The all-time leader in matches played for the Jacksonville Armada, a good chunk of those, while playing for Mark Lowry. And you've got Reese, Vasquez, Jerome right now at the center back position. The Indy 11 a couple of weeks ago elected to allow A.J. Cochran out of his contract to be able to maybe have more of a chance for playing time at the Charleston Battery. A, last week was A.J.'s birthday. Happy belated birthday, A.J. B, one of our favorites the last couple of years playing for the Indy 11. But again, it was just kind of, hey, we think there's may not be much playing time for you here with the guys in front. But I also do know that is still a position that I think Mark is looking to potentially add someone, is some depth at the center back position.
Right. I'm going to miss AJ, but I do think this was a good move for him. But such a class guy. I remember all the post-game interviews, win or loss, the accountability, the character, his ability to come and talk after a heartbreaking loss or a heartbreaking result was just fantastic.
Meshach, Jack Blake, Aiden Quinn, the three players you see on your screen. Meshach the blast and pulls it wide left. Last year, Meshach had some struggles at times, but I also don't think that people recognize he had an ankle injury late in April that really kind of waylaid him for a couple of months.
Yeah, similar to Rebion is that we had, an early injury. I don't think we ever really got to see the true version of that player. They fought back and they came back and they were able to get themselves, at least back into the lineup. But they weren't the same player that we saw that first week or the first couple weeks.
Robbie Dambright with a touch. Trying to lift this one up. And all the way back to goal. Well, we are now joined by someone that frankly has worn a variety of different hats for the Indy 11 over the years. These days, heads up the youth programs in terms of soccer development for the Indy 11. It is Phil Presser that joins us now. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Greg, yeah.
Give me the official title to keep it, on the up and up here on the broadcast for you these days.
With this club, sporting director, Academy League, W League operations. So just helping the overall growth of development in the club.
Phil, we have, talked about the last couple of years, the success of the USL Academy teams and the U19s, U17s, et cetera. Obviously, you've got competition that goes throughout the course of the year. How do you go about kind of player recruitment and getting players to play for these Indy 11 youth teams?
Yeah, I mean, first off, to compete against the rest of the country, it takes every youth club in Indiana to be bought in and helping out with producing players, and all these coaches and all these directors have done a great job across the state. And then, of course, you've got the scouting network with the Pro Academy that's out and about, and it's well known for the only league in Indiana that has USL Academy as well as MLS Next. So it's the destination for players. So they're constantly getting contacted through their form stacks to play at the highest level.
You talk about all these great coaches. There's a bunch of great coaches that are descending on Westfield this weekend. Whose brainchild was this National Coaching Symposium?
Well, it's it's a team. It's a team, and that's what people will realize as they come together from the first player to the last player on the bench to the people in the front office. All of us were working together to create a culture, a family culture, and an identity and a footprint in this country as we grow. So I don't think anybody needs to take credit on this one. It's just that's who we are. We are Indy 11. We work together. We're a family.
Todd Yeagley will be a part of this. Mark Lau will be a part of us. Tell us about kind of the third headlining coach that's going to be here this week.
So United Soccer Coaches Association teamed up with us to provide a coaching license for this weekend. So Mike Avery, actually with Fort Wayne USL 2, is going to come in and pair up with John Trask for the in-game kind of synopsis of the weekend. So it'll be good to see them. Obviously, we open up with an on-field with Mark, Gabe, Jose, Andy, staff, which is just incredible to watch Mark Lowry's work. I go to most trainings, and every day we're learning something, just his passion for the game. Then we host National Women's Soccer League, NWSL, Racing Louisville against Chicago Red Star, where people don't realize these are some of the top talented players on the planet. Let alone this country, that will be here, followed by Mark Lowry's presentation again at the at the Renaissance.
So you take a look at, there's going to be two pro games, Chicago Fire and Indy 11. There's going to be the women's NWSL, Racing Louisville, and the Red Stars. You've got the ability to earn a certificate. Are there still spots available in this coaching symposium?
There are. We're at about 130 coaches and counting. As stretch as far as Florida, I believe, is the furthest one flying in. Hence the National Coaches Symposium. I believe we're the only USL team in the country that's doing something like this for education and for coaches to learn from. We've not seen a coaches symposium in Indiana since 2012 under Coach Yeagley in Indiana. So it's about time we can give back and bring them in and develop right here within the state of Indiana.
You've done a lot through your coaching career. So when you take a look at a symposium like this, what is the piece of this that you're most excited to participate in?
Man, just the network. I think it's so important for coaches to come in and see the highest level, the coaches at work. It's so important to hear. I mean, you talk about Todd Yeagley and his leadership. That stems 50 years at Indiana. I believe it's their 50-year reunion coming up in May. They're doing an alumni get-together Saturday evening of this same weekend to bring more people in. But just listening to him, what he's learned from his father, that's important. John Trask, I mean, he's coached in the MLS for 3 different MLS teams. One of the top coaches in the country. To come in and give you his game analysis with Mike Avery. You're just getting everything. So whether you like to listen to leadership, whether you like to see the on-field activities to bring ideas, whether you just want to see top-level talent, whether you want to see some of the academy players in our pro academy step on the field and play live in front of you to see kind of the output of players in the state of Indiana, it's got everything. Really, really professional setup with our front office. They set up at the Renaissance. The food these coaches are going to be eating as part of the show is top-notch. We're really, really catering this to just be a very well-run event because it will be an annual thing and to start a continued factory of education with coaches in Indiana.
If you're a coach that wants to be a part of this, what's the best way to go about doing so?
So yeah, you can go to the Indy 11 website, indy11.com/NCS. You can see some of the information, sign up. You know, it's only, I believe, $220. It includes the license, food, some social time in the evening. The Renaissance Hotel is filling quickly, so I encourage them to book a room ASAP where it's going to be, right there, Homestead. But I have a feeling, I mean, 130, just like anything on year one, 130 coaches to come in is a lot. I think that's pretty much the max that Indiana would ever get on any given year. You know, as the word spreads, as they see the activity up front, I think, or, you know, in-house, I think every year it's going to be a natural draw to get education right here at home.
And if someone has a prospective young soccer player in their midst, and again, somebody that thinks there is a future beyond high school or club soccer, playing college or professionally, what's the best way for that person to find out, okay, how do they measure up? How can they potentially play for the Indy 11?
Yeah, so they've got a form stack online they can fill out to be evaluated with the first team in terms of maybe those high school players or college players that are just getting done or in a mix of wanting to be a professional player. They can fill it out. I think it's $25. There's a cost to it because a technical staff member will actually get on, watch your links, watch your footage, and give you their professional feedback. That's one way. If they are a youth player, there's no reason to leave the state. We have the highest leagues right here. You know, they can contact the academy director directly, Kiki Wallace, for a trial opportunity any moment of the year. But it's coming. I mean, the players in the first team so far, we've had about 8 or 9, give or take, each day involved. And I've had several of our new first team players, big name players, coming up to me saying, your guys' academy must be unbelievable because these players aren't missing a beat. And my response is, well, there's another 10 to 12 of them that could step in any given moment that just don't happen to be taking school online that can't be here. So there's a lot of talent being produced from all around the state of Indiana. We're pretty proud, and we want to continue that.
Phil, as always, a pleasure, my friend. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk again soon.
Of course. Thanks a lot.
Phil Presser, again, with the Indy 11 sporting director of the academy programs. And you know, I think back to the end of 2021, that team winning the USL Academy Cup down in Adelang Stadium. And Palmer Alt, a big part of that. And we saw him score against the Indy 11 on Friday. Getting ready to start his sophomore season at Butler University.
What a first year he had. Took the Big East by storm.
Again, he's doing a great job playing for Paul Snape. I still wonder how much longer he's going to be there because he certainly has a future playing professionally. So 67th minute, still 2-0 the score. In action largely dictated by the Indy 11 in this match, as you would expect. We will play the full 90 today. Juan Tejada returned after playing the opening, say, 25 minutes of this match. We're seeing some guys maybe get 45 to 50 minutes of run in today's game. Ball is kept in play in center cross. Quinzati amongst those guys now that's got 40 minutes on his legs, with halftime in between.
That's a pretty good scoring rate. You know, if you're playing 40 minutes and you're scoring 2 goals, if that extrapolates into the season.
I'm not the soccer expert that you are, but I've always thought, like, if your goals scored equal to the number of matches you've played, you probably have a future at doing this. Another Indiana Wesleyan player is currently down. That is Sims Lusarchik. That is the young man that is currently on the ground. You never want to see anybody get hurt in a friendly situation, and you can tell by that look, probably just a cramp. And again, it's understandable.
Yeah.
They last played a match in anger in November, and they don't have another friendly coming up until April the 1st. So this is kind of, to some degree, a bit of a one-off to, hey, go get your training in and don't miss an opportunity to play against, you know, the top team in the state of Indiana from a professional standpoint.
Yeah, you're training in between your fall season, your spring season. It's in the weight room. It's on the track. You just can't replicate game minutes.
Now, you are always one to ask me trivia during the course of the broadcast. Now, you probably didn't do anything to link Marion, Indiana, the home of Indiana Wesleyan University, to Indianapolis, Indiana on the broadcast today. So how about I direct some trivia in your direction? Can you name the one member of the Indy 11 that played collegiately at Indiana Wesleyan University?
Yes, give me just a minute.
Okay.
Give me just a minute.
Another corner to be taken by the Indy 11. As all of Brad's brain cells touch up at the same time.
Both of them are firing right now. German played
That
a
is
year
correct.
and a half.
That is correct.
His
You're spot
name
on.
is escaping me.
If I give you his first name, you know his last name, right?
Give me the first letter.
Starts with an N. I'll interrupt Brad's train of thought if something
I'm done for the broadcast.
of
My mind.
importance happens. There's a series of crosses exchanged back and
Nico.
You got it.
Nico.
Keep going.
Nico.
You got it. Keep going. Good cut back by Tejada. Ball played across, doesn't get through, and it will be another corner coming.
He played a lot in the 6 for us.
He literally wore number 6 for the Indy 11. It's not your turn, it is
my turn.
There you go.
Nico, my turn. Oh, my goodness. Now I'm going to have a headache.
Aiden Quinn will send this one in for the Indy 11. Good delivery here again. Good job to punch that one out. The volley will sprayed wide. Well, obviously, and it's so far wide I thought it was going to be out of play. It was not. The ball ended up kind of taking a funky hop and went right to Aiden Quinn. If you're Mark Lowry, you like what you're seeing from your team so far here?
Yeah, and you look at the Vasquez and Budati and a second run by Tejada and Quinn. You're starting to get significant minutes on.
Here's an opportunity. Trilk is going to be tested to give away at the back. 2v1, take the shot, and Indiana Wesleyan's on the board. Well, it had been primarily played exclusively at the Indy 11's end of the field, and Hudson Gongworth, young man from Avon, gets to celebrate. Job well done. Made a good read at the back and slotted that one past Tim Trilk.
Yep, just a misstep by Vasquez in the middle. Picked off the ball, and that's one of the things when you're pressing bodies forward, and same thing that happened against Butler. When you start pressing numbers forward, sometimes you can get pulled out of shape, and then it just takes one mistake, one ball that trickles through that puts you out on the break.
So 2-1 the score. I always say the 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in soccer. 3-goal puts it away, 1 goal, you're right back in it.
Yeah, and you look, if you're Indiana Wesleyan right now, you're tired. You're 72 minutes into this match, but you just got a little bit of life. You're able to make that little bit of pressing run, that overlapping run. You got a little bit more zip in your step now.
Well, also what I note, as this one go all the way back to Tim Trilk, not exactly a lot of players on the bench right now for Indiana Wesleyan. It looks like they may have 6, 7 maybe field players in uniform that are on the bench, and this is what happens in the spring. Player is onside here. I'll finish that thought. And a ball sent across, looking back post, and
boom,
able to tap it home.
Finish.
The goalkeeper is down. Let's hope he is all right. And immediately, trainer will be waved on. Players down on each side.
And I can't see it, but I think that's Dambrot making another one of those runs from that outside back position as the ball is attacking down the right flank. Making that all-out sprint that we saw so many times last year just to find an opportunity on the back post.
So Dambrot adds to his tallies unofficially. Had one of the top goals of the year last year in the Indy 11. Young man that
snuck it right past Jordan Farr. A little hustle effort from him. I think had Tejada off his right shoulder to just use him as a little bit of a decoy, and then tucks it under. I think he used the defender as a screen and just slid it right past far post on Jordan Farr.
Snapped a 12-week losing streak for the Indy 11, or a 12-week streak without a victory. Team went from June 4th until August 27th without getting the full 3 points. So let's take a look. And player was onside there. Slides all the way across, and it's exactly what Dambrot does, and then Dambrot got tripped up.
Just a hustle goal.
Yep.
I mean, you got to have the delivery. You got to have that ball that is out of reach of the keeper, tucked in far enough behind the defender, but you got to have the guy willing to just make that 60-yard run to get to that spot.
Luke Ash is the backup you see on your screen. Young man from here in Hamilton County, from Fishers.
A lot of good soccer in Fishers.
Just a little bit here in Hamilton County. Looks like Aaron Carr is going to hang. I think it hopefully it's kind of a matter of banging knees, or just kind of got clipped on that diving effort. So let's hope that he is all right. Back to a 3-1 edge for the Indy 11. And Robbie Dambrod's story comes from a tremendous basketball family. His dad, Keith, is currently the head coach at Duquesne University. Might be more famous for, being the high school coach of now the NBA's all-time leading scorer in LeBron James.
Oh.
Just somewhat known for that. Did a great job at the University of Akron, where Robbie played some college soccer as well. Trilk.
What a shot.
Had to parry that one away at the last moment. Credit to Indiana Wesleyan, they keep battling.
That had a little bit of a tail on it. That was not an easy ball as a keeper to come, because it starts drifting on you.
Take a look here at the blast. And I was very impressed by Tim Trilk a year ago.
100%. 100%. And you look at the response from Indy 11, you've got the energy swing. You talked about the 2-goal lead is the toughest in soccer. You got the energy swing from Indiana Wesleyan scoring their goal, making it 2-1, and then the response from Indy 11 is exactly what you want to see. You want to see that ball immediately find the back of the net.
Rinzati now playing more of a wide left position. We saw him set the assist. So he's got a point on all 3 tallies so far for the Indy 11. And this will be a corner coming for the Indy 11. Let's welcome one more guest. Teddy Samples, kind enough to join us here, talking about some of the themes and promotions coming up for the upcoming Indy 11 season. Teddy, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for being ready out of the bullpen, by the way, on short notice today.
Oh, yeah,
so
certainly.
We appreciate that. All right, what are some things that Indy 11 fans will notice in terms of specific nights and themes for the upcoming season?
Definitely just the activation part. I think a big part of themes and promotions is activating it in the right way. If we're going to have a military appreciation night or a cancer awareness night, what are we doing to activate that and really make that come to life?
And there is a goal for the Indy 11. Welcome to being interrupted on live television. Solomon Asante gets the goal for the Indy 11, make it 4-1 for Indy.
A great finish. Perfect ball served in there, and Solo finds the spot between the defenders to get his head to the ball.
Give the assist to Juan Tejada that set him up on that play. Great look from our GoPro behind the goal. So 4 goals now for the Indy 11, and a member of the 50-40 club
Unreal.
in terms of goals and assists in his days of playing in the USL Championship. We expect him to have an outstanding first full season with the Indy 11. It was close to a full year with Indy last year as he joined the club in late April, made his debut against Memphis 901 on May 14th of 2022. Well, all right, so opening night. I'm not sure there needs to be more of a theme than opening night.
Yeah.
What can fans expect on April the 1st?
Really just kind of, set the tone for what's to come for themes and promos. I think, obviously, like you said, opening night is opening night. We'll be looking to hopefully try to get a DJ out there, kind of set the vibe for the night, and then trying to bring in maybe like some circus acts, whether that be like fire breathers or aerialists. Hopefully something, that'll entertain the fans as they come through the gates, and then kind of a bigger halftime performance as well. So.
Not to skip over any dates in between April 1st and May 28th. There's big ones on the calendar. You want to talk about, say the word, but the next month in the calendar means Racing Indy Night on Racing Weekend, which would be May 27th, which is against Lou City this time around.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 4 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be our new tradition. It's going to get moved back to 7. So 7 o'clock it is on that Saturday. Tell me about what Racing Indy Night is going to be all about.
Yeah. Again, we'll have big partnership with IMS and really kind of work with them to bring that to life. I think last year went pretty well. We were able to bring a show car out. I think that went really well. Kids and even adults love to see kind of how an Indy 500 car works. Pretty small, but that was kind of cool to have people see. And then, nothing's set in stone, but we'll be continuing to kind of work with IMS and partner with them to see what else we can do to kind of bring that night to life.
Chance to probably tap this one with the Indy 11, could not get it done, and then swept out of danger by Indiana Wesleyan. Teddy Samples kind enough to join us here on our preseason friendly stream on ISC Sports Network and Indy 11 social media channels. There are obviously events like Pride Night that we've had over the course of the years, Military Appreciation Night, and I'll see if I can stake some of your camera shot there. The Real Men Wear Pink scarves that we have given out over the course of the years. Anything new that fans can be looking forward to in 2023?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a couple. So one that I think actually a lot of us in the front office are kind of excited for would be like a Star Wars night. So we'll have, sound effects along with graphics for Star Wars night. C-3PO, Stormtrooper blasts, kind of sprinkle those in throughout the game, whether it be during substitutions or goals. So we'll have that, and then obviously along with the Star Wars night comes the characters. So hopefully we're looking at bringing out the characters that go along with Star Wars night. So Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Han Solo, Chewbacca. Hopefully we can get a lot of those characters to come out to our game.
Now, Brad, are you dressing as Yoda that night?
Oh, that's funny.
That's the direction.
That's funny.
I mean, your hair's more like C-3PO, but I thought maybe Yoda would be the way that you would go.
That is funny. Hey, do you know how hard it is to book a Stormtrooper? We're on the phone daily trying to get a couple of them committed here.
Do we have a date to put you guys in the spot for Star Wars night just yet, or has that not been announced yet? It's not May the 4th because we're not playing on that night. It'd be the perfect night to do it. We're not playing on May the 4th.
I believe it's August 5th.
Okay.
And tell me about all things Indy.
Yeah, all things Indy.
What's going on that night?
Kind of just how it sounds, paying homage to where we live in Indiana. So hopefully trying to look at bringing out some food trucks, something to do with, biscuits and gravy, pork tenderloin, corn on the cob type stuff. And then, if we can get a...
We got to call into the Corn Kid, too. I don't know if you've seen the Corn Kid videos.
I know the Corn Kid, yes. I know you're talking about.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah, but stuff like that, pie eating contest, possibly looking at trying to do like a Parks and Rec type theme there as well. So, really just how it sounds, everything that Indiana has to offer.
All right, so is there a place on the website of the app yet where fans can go and get more information?
Soon. Actually, I believe the themes and promo schedule should be releasing hopefully tomorrow. So that'll be releasing on our website, and then we'll have a separate page for each theme night that people can dig into to kind of see the specific activations that are going on to really make that theme come to life.
Teddy, buddy, thanks for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Teddy Samples again talking about the promotions and themes that you will see upcoming in the 2023 campaign. So you're telling me that Racing Indy was bumped back to a 7 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah. Yeah, that was my sign language. You picked it up. After 9 years.
Well done by you.
How to communicate.
Great job. That works in my busy schedule a little bit better anyway, so thank you.
Your schedule that whole month is crazy.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to hang at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and obviously there is the unique tie-in of your Central Indiana Honda dealers, being such a great partner of the Indy 11, and the fact that the Honda badge has been on the Indy 11 uniforms since day number one, and obviously Honda, one of the two manufacturers that compete at the Indianapolis 500, so there has always been this wonderful synergy between the Indy 11 and the Honda teams and drivers. And, we talked about with Brian Remion in the first segment how you can see the smile on his face about, getting to, go to the 500 last year and see the cars in the month of May. Well, to see the guys go to the track and check it out for the first time is something I look forward to every month of May.
Yeah, and I was excited to see his
almost. And then Asante comes up a little bit gimpy at the end of the play.
I was excited to see his energy around the sprint cars too, because it's a completely different kind of racing. And if you're really into racing, you're kind of into all of it. You probably have your preferences. My son got me into F1 Drive to Survive. Have you watched that show?
I have, yes.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I never had any interest in F1 until I started watching that.
Asante probably would like to have that one back. Felt he should have had one, but that's part of the whole reason you play the preseason games is to kind of learn and reacclimate it. And there's really, just at a quick glance, only a couple of trialists that are out there right now for the Indy 11. It is, again, largely the names that will be key pieces for this team the entire year that are getting the run here.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's all methodically planned out. There are no really
nothing is spur of the moment.
Yeah, no spur of the moment decisions.
Here's the one I'll tell you about. Cam Lindley talked his way onto the pitch on Friday. He was not going to play and kind of convinced Mark, hey, I'm good for 25 minutes. It's what he got on Friday afternoon. That's the one.
He may have talked himself into the lineup again today as well.
Well, he played in the second half, and we didn't think he was going to, so our last guest may not be joining us, which you and I have been known to fill airtime quite adequately over the years, so I think we'll be okay.
We'll find our way through.
And I've only known Cam since he was a high school basketball player, so if I want to have a conversation, I can just call Cam and we'll be fine. So, and cannot thank our ISC Sports Network crew enough. Jordan Shue, David Kahn, Aaron Van Wolde, Alex Laverne. And we are thrilled to be entering our second year as ISC of partnering with the Indy 11 to bring coverage of the USLW League matches. And that schedule will be announced in the very near future. Of course, the window of time for those matches pretty compact in and around the women's college soccer schedule. Tejada trying to cut it back, and it will be a throw-in coming here for the Indy 11. Luke Ash is in there, by the way, now for Indiana Wesleyan.
I love the elements of Tejada's game. It is just, it's unpredictable, it's effort, it's chaos.
I'm not sure if a player has ever matched a hairstyle more than Juan Tejada. It's always moving. It's always in flow. We were so impressed by him as a rookie with the Rowdies several years ago.
10 goals in his rookie year.
Guy from Panama that played Division II soccer, and really not many people have heard of him. Made an impact from day one with Tampa for whatever reason, and Neil Collins' lineup was so stacked last year. There were seemingly fewer opportunities for Juan, for Sebastian Guinzotti. Now both have ended up here with the Indy 11. We have had some stoppages here in half number 2 for having 4 total goals scored, couple of injuries. Again, I don't know if we'll see any added time at this juncture. So we could be approaching the final 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, you get into this part of the game, both coaches have seen what they need to see from their teams, and it's preseason. You're just kind of holding your breath at this point saying, okay, let's just get that final whistle.
That'll be a foul against Indiana Wesleyan. Blake, the player that takes a tumble. Blake, a guy as well that briefly spent some time with the Tampa Bay Rowdies earlier in his career. So Asante with the restart.
Good ball.
Chance for a blast here. Jerome sends
what
it back
hit.
in, and how about that?
Oh my goodness.
The blast for the Indy 11. Make it 5.
Wow, what a strike.
So Alan Torres. And Alan's a young man that we haven't had a chance to talk to yet after his year of playing for Forward Madison. So Torres, we saw him as an academy player get some run late in the 2021 season. Signed to a full professional deal last year by the Indy 11, but played for Forward Madison in USL League One, so he could play on an everyday basis. He's probably not a starter for this team, but I think he's a guy that's going to dress most games as a bench player. What's the next step for him?
You look at the difference in just this year in what you've seen from him, and that experience in Madison has gone a long way to his maturity and development. He looks like a full-time pro out here. He looks like a guy that belongs on this field. And I agree with you. I think he's going to be dressing for all 18.
The academy players have yet to be officially announced for the upcoming season. Last year you'd see maybe 20, 21 pros and 3 or 4 academy players, and obviously 25-man roster. You can dress 18 on a given night. I'd expect maybe 1 or 2 less pros this season.
Look at that ball.
Nice touch here to lift it around a defender. Walking it through, and it will be a corner coming again for the Indy 11. We're going to hang around for a couple of minutes at the end of the broadcast. Hopefully have a chance to talk to Mark Lowry. If not, we'll catch up with him this week on Soccer Saturday. And for all of you watching online, we hope that you have enjoyed this rare glimpse kind of inside a preseason friendly for the Indy 11, and hope to make this an annual thing and maybe a more regular thing than that. Asante sizes it up and right into the chest of the netminder for Indiana Wesleyan. And of course, I would be remiss if we didn't wish our fans a very happy Valentine's Day, because we love each and every one of you. Thanks for reducing your work productivity on this Tuesday afternoon with us. Amazingly, this is actually what Brad and I get to do for a living. We can claim we worked until 5 o'clock on Valentine's Day. What changes now the next time out for the Indy 11? Again, you're playing the guys from the MLS Next program, the Chicago Fire 2 team. What's the next step in the progression now for Mark Lowry's squad going against full pros 5 days from now?
You're starting to get that lineup put together. You're trying to figure out, what are the combinations, how many minutes do we need to get on each, and you're starting to have that longer range perspective on March 11th in Tampa Bay, and what are the steps we need to take to get ourselves as ready as possible by that date.
So final score, 5-1. Indy 11 the winner today. Overall impressions of what you saw from this team this afternoon?
You got to be excited. I mean, I've been excited as every time you see one of these signings come in and you see the level of not just player, but the level of character, the level of leadership come in. You just keep getting more and more excited, and then you start to get to see it in person. It just increases that.
And again, you are the person that put together the broadcast in terms of all of the various guests that we have. So in terms of the things off the pitch that go around what happens on the pitch for the Indy 11, what are you most excited about for 2023?
We talked about it at halftime with the whole it's time stuff. It is time. This city is ready for a championship. This roster is ready. We got the right coaching staff. I love this front office. Everything is about winning and doing it the right way and being top in the league and everything. And so I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to watch it all come together, and I'm excited to see where this thing winds up when we start getting into September, October.
Again, the upcoming milepost for the Indy 11, the match here against Chicago Fire 2 is part of the National Coaches Symposium. That will be Sunday here on February the 19th. Indy goes on the road to take on the Chicago Fire, again, likely kind of their reserve squad at the MLS level because they open up the Major League Soccer season that weekend. That is Friday, February the 25th. That will take place in Chicago. We are then back here, not for a stream, unfortunately, but for the Indy 11 match. They'll take on Forward Madison Friday, March the 3rd. Then after that, it's 34 matches for real. The U.S. Open Cup is not that far away. That'll be the first week of April. Again, the debut match of the 10th season of Indy 11 soccer is Saturday, March 11th against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Home opener for the Indy 11 is 6 weeks from this Saturday. Las Vegas Lights on April the 1st. You ready for that season opener just yet?
It can't get here soon enough. I don't know where I'm going to be watching that Tampa Bay game, but I cannot wait to sit down and watch that thing from start to finish.
Mark Lowry going to have a quick word with his team. We'll let him go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and sign off then for today's broadcast. For Brad Hunter and our entire ISC Sports Network crew behind the scenes, this is Greg Rakestraw. Brad and I are back with you April the 1st, if not sooner. And if that's going to be the case, we'll be sure to let you know as soon as possible. Full match recap of this one on Soccer Saturday coming up this weekend on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Indy 11 wins it 5-1. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 preseason soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
Keep working on those things, keep better those things. You understand the system, you understand the shape really well. We'll keep refining, the balance will keep getting better. Look at these 4 things today. Put the work in, enjoy the game, score some goals, let's keep a clean sheet. Good, let's go.
1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3!
the cut in, I just saw the goal was right open, so I just took the shot to see how it went, and thankfully it was a nice goal. Feels good to get back, start playing again, especially with my new team. So yeah, looking forward to the season to start, play with the fans.
Saw us dominate the game. We're in their half for 80 minutes, however long we played. 3 mistakes, cost us 3 goals. They had 3 shots, I think. So all in all, I'm happy with it because the performance was good. Just, you want to kind of clean up those mistakes at the back. And we had 3 mistakes and they scored 3 goals. That was the game, but it doesn't matter. The reality is you'd rather them now as opposed to in the season. But other than that, the football was good.